Live from epic water parks where we enjoying life and everything is free. But we about to talk about things that aren't free, like prison. So let's get into Angola right now.
Continuing coverage of the Louisiana State Penitentiary here. The prison in West Feliciana Parish has been in operation since the mid-1800s. But prior to that, it was located in a much more populous place. To tell us more about the origins of the prison, Lauren Tom is standing by on location for this week's Ag Minute. And Lauren, you're standing on the site that was once the prison ground.
That's right, Mike. I'm standing at the original location of the Louisiana State Penitentiary, or what is today downtown Baton Rouge. This is where inmates were housed in the 1800s before the land in Angola was purchased in 1901. Let's take a look back at the history of one of the largest and most infamous prisons in the country. The first Louisiana State Penitentiary was housed on the corner of 6th and Laurel Street in what is now downtown Baton Rouge. During the Civil War, the prison was needed for housing Union prisoners, so the inmates were leased and sent to work on an 8,000-acre plantation in West Feliciana Parish called Angola. In the 1890s, a newspaper reported accounts of brutality being inflicted upon the inmates. This shocked the public. On January 1st, 1901, the state of Louisiana resumed control of all inmates after 55 years in the lease system. Louisiana purchased the Angola plantation at a mere $25 an acre for a total cost of $200,000.
Now here come the scary part. Let's take a look on the inside.
The Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola is one of America's most unusual prisons because it is, in some ways, a plantation. Once you pass through Angola's front gate, you can't help but feel that you've gone back in time to another South.
It's the largest maximum security prison in the country. Right now, there are 6,300 prisoners. The majority of murderers, you have rapists, you have people who've committed assault, drug felonies.
How long are you here for? Next 40 years? What was the charge? 4 counts? Roughly 75% of the prisoners are here serving life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Louisiana has some of the toughest sentencing laws in the country, and these guys are not going home.
For most of its history, Angola has been a fearsome place, but in recent years it's become relatively docile.
People credit the Warden Burl Kane, who's this very unlikely character, of devising a way to get Angola under control.
I'm Burl Kane. I'm the warden of Louisiana State Penitentiary. I've been the warden here about 20.5 years.
When you got this job, what did you find when you came up here?
There was blood, there was stabbing, there was fighting, and it was totally out of control. It was every man for himself. I realized pretty quick in my career that moral people don't rape, pilfer, and steal. Moral people aren't criminals. And so the best thing I could do real quickly was to get this place as moral as I could, and it would curb the violence.
How do you impose morality on a population that is 3/4 murderers serving life sentences without the possibility of parole?
Well, the basic thing was they were hopeless. It was hopelessness. With the life sentence, there's no hope you're going to ever get out. And so the moral rehabilitation caused the hope. To learn to work is basic rehabilitation. Many of them never worked in their life. They just stole. The guy that's driving the $250,000 combine is an inmate making 20 cents an hour. That's meaningful work for them.
I've been here since 2008. I got a second-degree murder charge.
What's it like the first day when the prison comes to you and says, okay, now you're working on the farm?
Well, then when I first came here, I see the kind of type of work here. I figured like this, I said, that work not gonna be bad, you know. I love doing hard work though.
You think these young guys like to work? They like to
No, them guys don't like to work at all.
Before the Civil War, Angola was a plantation. Today, there's a reasonable chance that some of the men working this farm are descendants of the slaves who once picked cotton here.
Once a prison doctor clears an inmate for work, that prisoner's got a job, whether he likes it or not. Some of the prisoners get paid as little as 2 cents an hour. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm all right.
Got locked up July 25th, 1981.
What was the charge?
Second-degree murder.
Did you do it?
Nah,
No? No. But you're here.
I'm here.
Are you free to just go around the
The whole penitentiary with me, I said, I love it.
So you've been here for more than 3 decades. How has Angola changed since you got here?
Ooh, Lord. Man, it done changed so much. It's just like from day to night, you know?
Louisiana's harsh sentencing laws mean that most prisoners are here for life, which means that Burl Kane had to devise a new system to keep prisoners on the straight and narrow.
One of the ways he did this was to Christianize the prison. There are churches everywhere, services are run every day. Hundreds of inmates are now trained as ministers. One of the Christian groups in Angola is called Malachi Dads. These are a group of inmates, Christian inmates, who are training other inmates on how to be fathers to their children who are outside the prison.
My name is Ron Hicks, and I've been incarcerated 25 years. I'm serving life sentence for second-degree murder.
My name is Darrell Waters. I'm from Gibson, Louisiana, and I was sentenced to second-degree murder in 1992.
My name is George Gillum. I am from New Orleans. I am currently serving a life sentence for second-degree murder. We discovered in 2006 that a child of an incarcerated father had a 70% likelihood to come to prison. And so we discovered those statistics, and God gave us favor, and that became Malachi Dads. Just because you're locked up in prison, that does not give you the right to not still be a father. Healthy people who have a heart that's healed, who have a soul that's whole, they want to help, they want to give back, and that's what we do every day.
Why do you think violence has come down in Angola?
When Warden Kane came on the scene, what he did was open up the door of opportunity. He was able to see, if I can get these guys to start coming after success, because what success do, it changes the way you think. If I can achieve something, I feel better about myself.
The spread of Christianity inside the prison has brought down the violence rate to a huge degree. But it's also a troubling issue. I mean, what if you're a member of another religion? What if you don't want religion? Can you survive and flourish in the system that Burl Kane has created?
It's not about religion to get you to go to God right immediately and all that kind of thing. It's not that. It's about changing yourself inside so you're a different human being. The inmates are going to congregate in a group. It can be positive or negative. But I want to create a group they can belong to that's going to be positive, that I have some semblance of control of from a distance. We have now a different kind of gang for God. And it can be any religion, we don't care.
What do you say to people who say that you're using religion as a form of social control?
I'm not using religion, except all I want is the morality in religion, and I can get morality quicker out of religion than I can anywhere else. All I'm seeking is moral rehabilitation.
I've gotten to know some of the Malachi Dads pretty well, and I would say this: you would never know that these were murderers.
I got involved with a conflict with a guy, and I have to live with that mistake that I made in my life when I was 19 years old. 2 young lives, both destroyed because of immaturity, really.
If you were ever to get out, A, are you equipped for the outside world? And B, do you think you would ever hurt anyone again?
That man or that personality is dead and gone. That person don't even exist anymore in this world. It was a moment in time that something happened and I reacted in an immature way. But God is redeeming, and this country is founded upon the redemptive process. That life that once took a life can save hundreds of lives.
Burl Kane faced a difficult situation in the 1990s. Federal government cut prisoner education funds, so he needed to do something with these prisoners. He brought in a seminary, and he also started what has turned out to be one of Louisiana's largest vocational institutes.
We're in the automotive tech shop where they train a lot of the reentry inmates. These are guys who are going to get out in 5 or 10 years, where they train them in mechanics.
My name is John Sheehan. I've been over the automotive technology school since June 2011.
And you're an ASC certified?
I'm a master ASC certified technician.
And you supervise the whole operation?
I supervise the whole operation. These men that are sitting here at the table and work on this car, they are going home. And if I can help change their lives to where they're going to be a father, they're going to be a husband, they're going to be a better son to their mother, then I'm giving back to society. And I feel good about that.
And I should point out, because people don't automatically assume this, that you're not a state employee.
No, sir, I'm not
You're
a state
an
employee. I forgot to tell you that. I'm going on 29 years come November of a life sentence inside Louisiana State Penitentiary.
You've been here for 29 years?
Been here for 29 years.
And you're in for what crime?
I'm in for second-degree murder.
Second-degree murder.
First offender.
Lifetime without the possibility
Life
of parole.
without probation, or parole.
Life without parole. And who did you kill? Who was the murder victim?
My wife.
That was your wife.
My first wife. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been through a process of redemption?
There's nothing I can ever do to go back and change what happened where I wish I could, but by changing my life to the better is to help these young men to change their lives. We probably have about $300,000 or better worth of equipment and tools inside of this shop right here.
Right. And so, I mean, the interesting thing here to me, as an outsider, is the idea that maximum security prison has not only a ball-peen hammer, not only these tools accessible, but prisoners are also in charge of monitoring the tools. I have to think that's an unusual
It definitely is.
situation. There's something so odd and infuriating about a system in which proper vocational education and mentoring and life skills education and anger management education and substance abuse and mental health, where all of this is done after they've committed violent crimes or after they've committed felonies. I think one of the things that just strikes you in a place like this, more than almost anything else, is that we have everything reversed.
You've been a criminal, but you get old enough and you get wise enough that it's really not what you're about anymore. We had to have a victim to send them here and get them prepared to go back out in society and be successful. God help us. Somebody's got to be hurt, murdered, killed before we'll recognize the problem we have and go back and fix it. But in corrections, we didn't do it for so long because we all believed that we were just supposed to lock them up. We forgot corrections means correct deviant behavior.
There's a hypocrisy in the way we talk about these problems in America. We tend to focus on what do the police do wrong? What are the prisons doing wrong? But the prisons and the police are doing what we and our legislators want them to do. Angola is just the receiving end of the problem.
Angola is so bucolic that sometimes you can forget that this is a maximum security prison where Burl Kane uses solitary confinement as a form of control and punishment. And of course you can forget that this is the home of Louisiana's death row. Burl Kane supervises death row just the way he supervises everything else in this prison.
After we had the last meal with Gerald Bordelon, the last person executed, he wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So he wanted Jif peanut butter, cream, and he wanted apple jelly. So we bought him what he wanted and we had the last meal with him. But anyway, I picked the jelly up and the peanut butter and here it is.
May I?
Sure. He and I both ate 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches each. And we said, we said the blessing over the meal. He was a Christian guy, but he wanted to be executed because he had done a horrendous, horrible crime. And he said if he got away from me, he was going to do it again. But he was adamant. It was almost like suicide. This business is very, very complex, and to maintain your own sanity, you have to navigate through both sides of it and just keep the keys and carry out the law and just truck it on.
We've gone through a long period in America where it's all about punishment and it's all about mandatory life. But if you come here, you actually meet these people and you realize, or you at least have the inkling of a feeling that maybe there's something to the idea that the people they were when they killed other people
those people are gone and that something new is taking root. When you look at the problem of mandatory sentencing, not through the eyes of defense attorneys or liberal prison reformers, but from the warden of Louisiana State Penitentiary, and he says, this system is absurd, you really begin to see the maddening aspect of this.
And last but not least, let's cut the bull and get into the rodeo.
Prison. It's a punishing routine. The food, the clothes, the view, nothing changes. Life's variety, like an inmate's freedom, is taken away. But here, at the Louisiana State Penitentiary, known as Angola, one of the most notorious maximum security prisons in the country, the monotony of doing hard time is occasionally broken.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Angola Prison Rodeo.
For one weekend in April, and all the Sundays this month, some of Louisiana's most violent criminals become entertainment.
We came to see the rodeo.
Spectators from all over fill the stadium, built by prisoners, mind you, that seats more than 11,000 people.
And let's ride.
It's an odd mix, both animals and inmates released from their respective confinements to duel it out. It's both a crowd pleaser and a bit unsettling. The atmosphere reminds you of a state fair, but then there's the guard towers and razor wire. Even the Mississippi River fools you. It meanders its way around this former slave plantation in a very tranquil way, until you notice the alligators.
All right, here we go. Wild cow milking.
This place is a never-ending stream of contrasts. You're not sure whether to cheer or jeer when you're here.
He's digging somebody a grave.
The competitions aren't what you'd expect at a regular rodeo.
Don't move.
Take convict poker. 4 inmates sit nervously at a card table, while a very restless bull picks out his target.
Here we go.
He either takes out the whole card table at once, or he picks the inmates off one by one.
Don't run!
The last one standing or sitting wins.
We want to have this show and no one get hurt, no one be injured, and have a good time. It's about a good time. It's not about some sinister, brutal thing that happened.
This your first one?
Yeah.
Burl Kane has been Angola's warden for 20 years and is well aware that his rodeo can make the Louisiana State Penitentiary seem more like the Roman Colosseum.
How is it not taking advantage of the inmates?
Nobody has to do it. Nobody. They want to do it. How can I take advantage of you if you want to do it?
Do you have any experience?
Oh, no.
Nothing.
Never been a cowboy.
They're all volunteers, like first-time cowboy Virgil Smith, a career criminal who's here for murder.
So why do you do this?
Money.
Yeah?
I'm broke. I'm trying to get a private investigator on my case.
He earns 2 cents an hour working in the prison fields, but he can earn hundreds out in that mud.
It doesn't bug you that people are coming out to watch you guys get hurt?
It's not really upsetting because, people like to see anything that's filled with excitement.
Do you ever have any qualms about putting these guys in the arena without any real rodeo training?
No, here's what I do. This is the most important thing. They're wearing the flak vest, they're wearing the helmet, and then we have hired the very finest rodeo clowns who you see get between the bull and the guys and save the guys and get the bull to chase them. We've gone to a great extreme to protect them.
In fact, he says most inmates walk away with just minor injuries. For him, a few bumps and bruises is worth it, if the inmates get a brief reprieve from the hopelessness of prison. Over 80% of Angola's inmates will never be free again. Some don't even leave when they die. They're buried right here, inside the prison walls.
It's like take you away from being incarcerated while being incarcerated.
Timothy Gay and Aldrich Lathan are both in for armed robbery.
Is it something you guys look forward to all year?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
Because there's probably not a lot else to look forward to in here, right?
No.
Not really.
Now, their victims would likely argue they don't deserve to have something to look forward to. Certainly not those here for the most serious offenses.
I took a hit and didn't get a penny.
You took a hit and didn't get a penny. I got to try to change this dude because corrections means correct his deviant behavior. So I'm charged with correcting him. That's my job. It's not locking feet and torture and torment.
Yeah, they're up the colors.
So the rodeo in his mind is rehabilitation, helping to give the inmates purpose.
You want those too? Okay.
At the rodeo's craft fair, offenders called trustees, having served at least a decade without incident, are allowed to sell items they make here. Everything from bowls to rocking chairs.
Yeah, we'll split that.
For many, these interactions are the only time they talk with someone from the outside.
I've had a bunch of them just speak, you know, even though I wasn't even shopping, you know, or anything, just to speak and have somebody actually talk to them as if they were human again.
Is that the one you want?
John Sheehan has been locked up here for 28 years for killing his wife.
Like for my ID, I keep my ID just like that.
The rodeo has given him a chance to start a small leatherworks business from behind bars.
I had to try to find meaning in my life and purpose for my life. And that's what I've done while I've been incarcerated.
To be sure, the rodeo does make money.
Whoops, stay with him.
This year, the event is expected to net close to $4 million. Proceeds that fund a host of inmate welfare programs that might otherwise be paid for with tax dollars.
Hang on.
But the most tangible effect for the offenders is a chance to be seen in a more positive light.
So what's it like to be out there and hear everybody cheering for you?
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be doing something right for them to like me the way they like me. So.
Marlon Brown, known as Tank, is doing life for murder. Perhaps it's no surprise he's champion of the toughest rodeo event of all.
He has taken the chip 20 times. That is a record.
It's called Guts and Glory.
All right, here we go.
Barehanded inmates try to grab a poker chip that's tied between the horns of a pretty angry bull.
When you got a 2,500-pound animal in front of you, you know, you can't be worrying about nothing else.
This day was not Tank's day.
Reach in, come on, Tank!
He was run over repeatedly.
Whoa! Now, Tank, try to reach in, get the chip.
His last attempt got him thrown into the fence.
Gotta reach to get it.
The chip flew off into another inmate's hands. It was a rare loss for Tank, but he limped out of the arena with a smile.
It take a lot.
Yeah.
It take a lot to take me.
I'm glad you're all right.
Like so many here, he figured he had nothing to lose. He'll never be free, so why not go for it? Whatever you think of the oldest prison rodeo in the country, there does seem to be no shortage of willing participants looking to feel free, even for a few seconds.
So it's worth the risk, you think, of getting hurt?
Freedom, yeah. Yeah.